listening to Gun Talk. Today, Tom is on location at the NRA annual meetings in Nashville at the Ruger booth. Now, let's get back to Tom and see what's going on.
All right, we're back with you. Tom Gresham here. It's Gun Talk. We're in the Ruger booth at the NRA's annual meetings in Nashville, Tennessee. Got lots of folks walking around here. I mean, we're talking a lot of people. Tom Taylor has just joined me. Now, you know Tom, he's been on the show a number of times, but now you're wearing a different shirt, my friend. You got the Sig Sauer shirt on.
I am, and just real quick, I mean, Mossberg was a great experience over the last several years, but Sig Sauer came to me and offered an opportunity, and what's going on there is just something I decided to take advantage of, and it's just absolutely incredible what's going on there.
Well, we were just talking about that. Sig is into so many different areas now. It's incredible.
Yeah, I think Sig is looking at something that may not have been done in the industry, where you have a major gun brand and a brand that is well respected that's going to have optics and silencers and ammo and air pellet guns and so many different categories, and all done really well.
Rifles, handguns, and other things coming along. I hear rumors, or actually I start rumors.
Yeah, well, you're good at that. But, you know what you can trust is that it's going to be thoughtful, that it's not going to be, the plan isn't to make cologne and things like that. This is going to be things that touch the gun or matter in the gun world, and accessories along those lines. And
well, it's such a great brand. People know the Sig name, and they've always equated it with quality.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things that, it's like you're given this precious commodity. And a fella, where I was working at one of the magazines I went to, and this reader wrote in, he says, look, he says, your job is just don't F it up.
Yeah.
Don't mess this thing up, okay? Yeah. You go, okay, first order of business is don't mess this thing up, right?
And that's exactly what it is. I mean, the Sig brand is well respected. The products are stellar. And so when you look at the people that we brought in to run optics and ammunition and silencers, you could make an argument that they are leaders in their field,
right?
From the former companies they've come from, and I like to think I'm going to contribute to that. But what we're bringing to market is going to be stuff that you can trust if it has the Sig Sauer brand on it, and it's not sourced. We're building it. I mean, it's our product.
Well, speaking of that, people are asking, when can I see a 320? When can I see? And as you walked into the booth here, you're smiling because you said, hey man, I got news about shipping stuff. We're shipping some things.
Yeah, we actually on our social media sites we released the whole process of a gun being finalized in assembly and going into a box in a sort of fast motion and actually going onto the FedEx truck and going out. So the MPX is shipping.
Right.
We started shipping last week finally after that odyssey. A couple of years coming, and the 320 is in full shipping mode. That's on the market. The MPXs, the 9mm, should be hitting the shelves very shortly, and the MCXs, the 5.56, and all the calibers that come with the MCX will be shipping in May. So all these anticipated product lines, the three major new products, will all be shipping by the end of May.
And of course, we've got the GT20 pistol. This is the P220 by special edition. And I was checking here, it sounds like probably end of the month we'll be shipping that, so we'll have that one ready. So
yep. I know the 10mm, the excitement on that is, you've been.
Oh man, it's huge. And we're going to have we got the special grips on that one. Just in case anybody missed out, we stopped the sale on that one at the end of last month. But we do have a waiting list. If you want to get in on that, if somebody falls out, you can get on the waiting list. Just contact Dury's Guns, DURYS, Dury'sGuns.com. So, all right, I see people in the booth to the extent that I can't get in the booth. It is nuts. What are they looking at everything now? I mean, because you got silencers, you got the optics. By the way, those optics are outstanding. You know what an optics geek I am.
Yeah, there's the level of development on those optics and the technology involved. It's all next generation stuff. I mean, what we've had the luxury of doing is looking at all the competition out there and saying what's the best attribute from all these products. And we brought together a team that is experienced. Everybody on that team has multiple years of experience in the optics category.
Yeah, and the guts inside are as they should be, but the exterior are beautiful. The rifle scopes have great little. It's like the checkering on the knurling is the same as on one of the pistols. You got little grooves in the rangefinder that are the same as the grooves in the slides of your pistols. You're going, that's attention to detail there.
Yeah, when you look across everything from a pair of binoculars that has the same texture as a 320 pistol or an air gun that's built on the exact same weight and design as a 320, it's just and that's what's unique about this opportunity is that we design it, we build it, it's our brand, we can control it, and so that's what's so beautiful. But I think what you see in that booth with wall-to-wall people, they're coming in. They may or may not know everything going on at Sig Sauer, but then when they start picking up and handling the product, I think they're blown away, and they stay, and the booth just keeps getting more and more packed.
Tell me about ammo. What's going on with the ammo?
Ammo is shipping. We've launched most of the handgun category products.
You didn't just make 9 and 45. You've got 10. You've got a lot of different calibers now.
Well, this is the most beautiful thing about everything going at SIG. There's no dabbling. We're not going to dabble. We have all the handgun calibers. You're going to begin to see some core and very high-end rifle calibers. You're also going to see hunting calibers coming in the future.
Okay.
So we're not going to dabble, and that's what's if you walk in that booth and you look. A lot of times when companies do these kind of initiatives, I think that's part of the problem is you don't go all in.
Yeah.
This because you've seen the factory, you've seen the people, the people.
We're
not dabbling.
And the other thing is the people are shooters. They are gun people at their core, and that's what it takes. Because when you're a gun person, you say, no, we don't need just this. We need this, and this. Because as a gun person, this is what I want, so I know that's what my customers would want.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, when we have a question, we can run down to SIG Academy down the road and put it in one of those guys' hands and see if they can tear it up.
Yeah, and if they can't tear it up, nobody can.
It can't be torn up because you know the credentials of those guys.
They're the real deal. Tom, I'll tell you what, after you had a few more weeks there and you kind of got the lay of the land, we'll get you back on. We'll talk about some of the other stuff. Okay?
Yeah, I've just about learned where the bathroom is at this point, so we'll once I get my way around, I'd love to come back.
And obviously, the website is sigsauer.com.
Yes, sir.
That'll work. Tom Taylor from Sig Sauer. I got to get used to saying that. Yeah. That is great. We'll get you on again. I appreciate all the news, man.
Great to be here, Tom.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back at the NRA annual meeting in Nashville.
In the field or on the range, you need a trigger you can trust. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. A Timney trigger could mean the difference between a great shot and a miss. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. To order, go to timneytriggers.com. That's TIMNEY triggers.com.
The .45 Auto, also known as the 1911, is the standard other defensive pistols are measured against. No matter what pistol you carry, techniques developed around the 1911 are vital. You know you need training, and you know your concealed carry class definitely was not training. Now GUNTALK presents an exciting DVD, Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. Tiger's unique training style will have you drawing, moving, shooting, and running your gun better, no matter what style pistol you prefer. At shopguntalk.com, you can order our DVDs of Tiger's instruction. ShopGunTalk.com also has a 2-DVD set, including Concealed Carry 1. Get both for the information you know you need. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com has DVDs, books, and other essential gear. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently. When it comes to personal protection, nothing beats a Bodyguard. Choose the lightweight, compact, and concealable Bodyguard 380 pistol or the Bodyguard 38 revolver, both with a built-in laser sight. The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently.
Long-range shooting is challenging and fun, but most precision rifle bullets aren't right for hunting. Nosler's AccuBond LR long-range bullets are designed specifically for hunters. They combine the incredible on-game performance AccuBond bullets have delivered around the world with incredible long-range properties. High ballistic coefficients make for bullets which shoot flat and defy the winds. The sleekest, flattest shooting, bonded hunting bullet ever designed. Nosler's AccuBond LR. For more info, visit nosler.com.
We are back with you, Tom Gresham. It's Gun Talk. We got some great guests now. You know the name Barrett. You know the Barrett rifles. We got Ronnie Barrett, Chris Barrett have joined us right now. Guys, thanks so much for joining us here.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us to your state.
I tell you what, I've been nervous about that since we selected it. I voted on it on the board of directors of the NRA.
Right,
and so when we first came up with this 5 years ago, I thought,
You think, well,
5 years we're going to be able to build this building. It wasn't even up at that time.
That's right. We better do it right.
Yes.
Well, it's a beautiful building. I mean, how long has this building been?
Maybe a blessed year, I think.
Really?
It was a nail biter, but we finally got everything
Well,
built.
it's gorgeous,
It
and
is.
I don't know how many people they're talking 70,000, maybe 80,000 people.
Man. It's always good, and the numbers are always surprising. We'll find out for sure on Monday.
And you guys are just down the road, Murfreesboro.
Yes, we are.
Okay. Yeah, my daughter went to MTSU, so I've flown into the Murfreesboro airport a number of times. So.
Well, I tell you, it's a growing town also.
It is. In fact, it's almost like you're not sure where Nashville stops and Murfreesboro begins now.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Well, let's talk guns.
I don't like to talk guns. I'm afraid of them. They make all that noise. Now, let's talk big guns.
Yes.
Barrett rifles. Of course, you guys are known for the 50. I mean, come on. How did it get started, Ronnie?
Oh man, it was something for me. I wanted a 50 caliber. How you collect. You start with 22s. You go to the next one, the next one, the next one.
What's the next biggest?
So as it kept going, the 50 caliber was up there, but nothing existed that was easy to play with. You could still buy machine guns back then, and so you could go out and get an M2. And I thought about getting one of those, but feeding that thing, and it's not as easy to play with.
No, they're big and heavy, and
I designed this just for myself, and instantly people started becoming more interested in it. And so I was a photographer, but a student of firearms, and drew it up and found a guy with a mill and a lathe in his garage, and we made it. And by golly, one thing led to another, and before you know it, after 30 years, I'm an overnight success.
Isn't it amazing how that happens?
Yeah.
So how many different models of 50 do you have right now?
Chris, answer that.
Ooh, that's we've got to count them up a little bit here. We've got the 82 series,
right,
which is the original, but has now become the M107. So that's kind of two families in its own. The Model 95 series, which is the bolt action, and the Model 99.
Correct.
So I guess three basic families.
Okay, but what a lot of people probably, and it's one of those things that drives you crazy, you think, how do people not know this? You guys are not limited to 50s at all these days.
It's kind of like Kodak. It used to be, get the Kodak. Well,
right.
And everybody now says, well, I got my Barrett. And
and they mean a 50.
Yeah, but we have the 50 cal. Chris Barrett designed the 416 cartridge, which is a blistering fast, fun cartridge. Then Chris has got the Rec 7. Boy, it doesn't sound like I'm doing all that much. Then he did the MRAD.
He's the inspiration for everything.
Yeah, no kidding. It all started with Roddy. That's right.
Now the MRAD was came off of the Model 98B, which was an NRA Rifle of the Year.
Oh.
And then a couple of years later, when the MRAD came out, that was a Rifle of the Year too. So those are in the 338 Lapua.
We do have trouble, though, convincing people that we make things other than 50.
I'm sure you do.
I've seen people walk up to some booths and pick up our 338 or a 300 Win Mag and say, wow, this is a small 50 cal. To which I say, yes, you're right, it is.
And then you say, no, it's 338, and they go, well, that's not right.
That's right. That's not fair. No.
Well, who makes it then?
That's right.
Exactly.
We do now 338 in the MRAD 98B series. We start with 338 Lapua Magnum at the largest, and we now make 300 Win Mag, 308, 260 Remington, 6.5 Creedmoor.
Oh, wow.
The 300 and 338 Norma Magnum. So we're really branching out there with that rifle, and we're taking over the world with the MRAD. It's been fielded by a couple of different militaries now.
Well, explain what the MRAD is.
It's MRAD, of course, is the unit of measurement that snipers use, a milliradian, but it's also, we use it as an acronym that means multi-role adaptive design. So worked out pretty well for us, and it is that.
Do you describe it as an AR?
Absolutely not. No, it is a long-range precision rifle designed and built for combat battlefields.
And it's a bolt-action repeater.
Bolt-action repeater. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So,
but I like to say about that. It's not a deer rifle in a fancy black stock.
That's a good point.
It started out as a rifle for the field that doesn't require special tools, things like that. It can take the dirt and the sand. So, like I said, it's great on the deer field, but it didn't start as it's not a Paul Mauser design that's been modified.
Right. Because everything else was based on Mauser.
This is a clean piece of paper that is using plastics as guides, and it's just all sorts of wonderful things in it. And that's why it is
21st century technology.
It really is.
And entirely modular, which has been big for us on the military side, and the point you were making about the durability in weird and tough conditions and adverse conditions, it just powers through sand, mud, ice, dirt, and some of the competitors we've been up against just their designs wouldn't do that.
Are military units picking this up?
Absolutely, it's been filled by two large ones.
You really have a great connection with the military units.
Yes, we do.
And probably, without giving away any secrets, I'm sure they're involved, and they say, hey, we need this. And they come back to you guys and go, yeah, we will work on something.
We have some governments that like to do everything with us because their experience with us has been so good in the past. So, yeah, the part of the 30 years that you start to build a reputation of dependability and good service. And so now we have some governments that come just say, well, we're going to want this, but it's got to be you.
We cannot tell the story of Barrett and the company without telling the story about Ronnie saying, no, I'm not going to sell to California.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, how long ago was that now?
Gee whiz.
It's got to be 15 years.
Well, usually if it's 15, it's 30.
That's right. That's what my son always tells me anyway.
No, it was just a dirty day in politics.
Yeah.
And it just lives on so long where they were using the rifle. I had one of our big 50s up on the table saying that this was a weapon of drive-by gangbangers and all this kind of stuff.
How much does this rifle weigh, by the way?
Oh, man, it's right at 30 pounds.
It's right.
A
lot of folks using that for drive-bys.
You can certainly throw that thing out the window of a low rider, can't you? But yeah, and I told them quit the deceit, straighten up on it. This was a private letter to Chief Bratton that evidently his people leaked it. But we told them if California goes this direction, and especially because of the way they represented our rifle to the
they're holding your rifle up as a crime gun.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I told them, I said, I don't sell rifles to police departments to be used for politicking.
Right.
It's to protect and to serve. Instead, they just blew everything away. Well, anyway, bottom line is
you wouldn't sell to them.
They banned the gun, so
they said the citizens can't own it, and you said, well, then I'm not going to sell it to the police.
That's correct. So,
and I will tell you, a lot of us still applaud that.
Well, I'm not going to sit here and make an elite government force that would be used against his people. It's against the Constitution. And so, as I told the attorney generals at the time, that I can't sell to you guys because you guys are lawbreakers. They said, well, we hadn't been convicted of anything. I said, well, it won't be the first time in history that men sit in office breaking the law before they're finally brought to justice. But I'm not going to be hanging around with you guys when the day comes.
Right. So it says that the operative word is yet.
Yes.
Yes. You haven't been convicted yet. Exactly right. All right. From there, of course, the company just blossomed. You've gone into all these different areas. So what are we looking at? What's the newest thing? What are people looking at in the booth?
I've got, well, they're not even looking at this in the booth because we're hiding it. But it's
talk to
no, we're not hiding it. Barrett is in machine guns now. We are in belt-fed, crew-served machine guns, and we've actually made 2 deliveries to 2 different governments already. And
I'll give you my home address.
Yeah. You're not in California, are
you? Yeah, just add insult to injury, wouldn't it?
It is an improvement off of the 240 or Mag 58.
Yeah, the standard U.S. machine gun. We've taken that and made it about 5 or 6 pounds lighter and smaller, and making several other improvements to it that Dad has just been dreaming on that one, and the whole team has worked real hard on it, and it's being met very well. We've brought it into the new century.
Yes.
So
a faster cyclic rate or anything?
No, it runs just like our good standard US 240B machine gun. It's just lighter and smarter, and it's just better in every way, ergonomically.
Instead of being riveted together, that gun, it was a derivative of John Browning's old box 30 cal machine gun and John Browning's BAR.
Okay.
And at the day, we were leaving the rivets and things, the Titanic, the Eiffel Tower, and things like that. But that gun, which came around in 1958, was riveted together. So you got 62 parts riveted together. Wonderful gun, wonderful design.
The man was a genius, but we're 100 years beyond John Browning.
We took, with the new CNC machines, we took a left and a right hand blank of steel, machined it out, leaving the material only where it needs to be.
Right.
And so we go from 64 parts down to 2 parts, a left and a right, and get rid of all the extra laminations.
It's got to make it more rugged.
Oh yeah,
it does, and it's it's a very exciting thing for the company because it is a bit of a different direction for us. But as Ronnie was mentioning earlier, a lot of the governments we work with, the military units, they want to work with Barrett. They want an entire suite of weapons from Barrett. So it's in the
so
general
a one-stop shop deal.
That's
right. They can come to you for all their solutions.
That's right, and we love it. We love applying the Barrett principles to some of this older design here, and it's working out really well.
It's good.
That is cool. Now, staying with rifles, machine guns, you ever think about getting into handguns and into any different areas? Look at him over here kind of smiling and looking. It's like your eyes are shifting both ways.
You should encourage him. We're trying to train him down. It's like the more capability.
Ronnie's eyes just lit up when I said that. You're going, oh, yeah.
We've got some handgun designs on the board. We're known so much for the big rifles type thing, and there's
a 50 BMG handgun would be sweet.
Oh yeah, you know it. Let me show you my prototype. Got it right here. It would be fun, and the reason people ask that is that the Barrett brand is so good right now.
Exactly.
Anything we make and put Barrett on it is going to be well received.
Well,
and so
the other side of that is it means you also have to live up to that brand.
Oh yes,
you got to support it. I know you guys do.
We do that
because you that's a precious commodity. That trust that your customers give you, it was earned over 30 years. Like I say, overnight success.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even ask you. Where can people find out more about Barrett website?
Yeah, Barrett.net it's a great website now, but I think we're rolling out a new one. I'm looking at the man right there, Nathan Luck. So hopefully, now that I've said this on the radio, we'll get our website out right now.
Actually have to have it. It's BARRETT
.net.
2 R's, 2 T's .net. Barrett.net will get you there. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate what you do. Ronnie, I appreciate you. You're one of my heroes, man.
Thanks,
I got to tell you.
Thank you.
And at some point, we're going to run down there and get to Murfreesboro and take a look at the place.
You need to.
Let's do it.
We'll do that. All right.
Thank you so much, Tom.
Appreciate that. All right, don't go far. We'll be right back with more Gun Talk. We're at the NRA's annual meetings in Nashville in the Ruger booth. I'm Tom Gresham. Keep shooting and do it well.
Now broadcasting nationwide on radio, via satellite, and through downloads, iTunes, the Gun Talk app, and other podcast clients. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
Hey, welcome back to Gun Talk. Tom Gresham here. We're in the Ruger booth at the NRA annual meetings here. We got like 40,000 people standing in front of us. Well, it feels like that. They walk past us. We're joined right now with Todd Vance from Vance Outdoors in Columbus, Ohio, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, let me get your mic up there. I'm sorry. I didn't. Try that again.
Yeah. Yes, we're out of Columbus, Ohio.
Okay. Columbus, Ohio. Very good. And let me see. I'm see if I've got. Stand by here. I'm just tinkering with my. I know we're here. We need to turn up your volume a little bit. Now, try it again.
Is this okay?
Yeah, that sounds good. That's better. I'll turn the right one up now. This is operator error on this end.
That's okay.
So Todd Vance from Vance Outdoors in Columbus, Ohio. And you're here because we are the
Ruger Retailer of the Year.
The Ruger Retailer of the Year. And you've got this very cool Ruger pistol here that they've fixed all up for you. And that's pretty sweet. I don't think you're going to go out and shoot that one, are you?
No, those will go in display cases.
Yeah, no kidding. So, okay, tell me about your store.
Well, we've got 3 stores in Central Ohio, right in the Columbus area, and then just one right outside of Columbus. We're a 77-year-old 4th-generation company. We've been doing this our whole lives. We're what I call lifers.
You grew up in the gun business.
I grew up in the gun business.
Okay. What's it like to run a gun store these days? What are the challenges you run into?
Some of the challenges you run into, it's a very competitive market. So there's been a lot of big box retailers who have come into bigger areas and put relatively nice stores in everywhere they go.
Big boxes being Cabela's, Bass Pro, et cetera, et cetera.
Field Stream, Gander.
So when you're running a family gun store, you're competing against those guys who are buying in massive volumes.
Yes, but we also are a member of a buying group, and so that helps us compete.
That helps, okay.
Very well.
But the other thing is they usually are not going to have the knowledge base that you're going to have, and probably not the kind of variety that you're going to have.
No, they won't stock near the number of firearms that we stock in there. We had 2 major retailer box stores come to town, and we didn't lose an employee to any of them. We lost one employee to that. So
Wow.
We have people who have been with us for a long time, very knowledgeable.
Right. Okay. So give me an idea. If I haven't been in your store, when I walk in your store, what am I going to see? What are you emphasizing there? Is it hunting? Is it self-defense?
Well, it's a little bit of everything. So all three of our stores are a little bit different. And so we just built a new store and opened it in October.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you walk into that store, it's 60,000 square feet.
Oh, big store.
It has a 24-lane range in it.
Wow.
So we do all firearms in there, and then we do clothing, a lot of clothing in the center of the store, fishing, hunting, archery. So it's a little bit of everything in there. We do a lot of training classes on the range, and we do a lot of firearms. That's our core. Firearms.
You're a gun store at heart.
We're a gun store at heart.
All right. Talk to me about the value of a gun store having a range, or a range having a gun store, and the crossover and how that works, particularly for the customer.
Well, the customer comes in, you have some place that they have the ability to use their firearms. And as society progresses, gets older, they lose places to shoot firearms. Mm-hmm. Suburbs keep growing, and land is used up for other purposes. So it gives people who live in the cities or the suburbs a place to come in, use their firearm. It allows consumers to test firearms, which you can't always do before you buy one. So we have an extensive rental program in there that they can do. And it allows us to, and we do a lot of advertising, we can use the range to entice consumers to buy firearms from us.
How can somebody best take advantage of a firearm store, a gun store like yours, where you have knowledgeable people there? How can somebody be a smart shopper and get the most out of what you have to offer?
We're a very aggressive advertising firearm company. Mm-hmm. So we do circulars. We do 12 of those a year. We do a lot of e-blasts now, to our email list, our customers who are signed up for our rewards program. So if they pay attention to our advertising, they're going to get fantastic prices.
So sign up for the email list.
Yes.
So you get first dibs. You get the information on what's going on.
Yep. You'll get specials that we put out to just them, or you'll get specials that are to them first before it goes out into our general advertising paper.
I'm also guessing, walk into the store, talk to the clerks there, and ask them what's new, what's going on, are there any deals out there? Are there any new guns I need to know about? Because you guys know about this stuff.
Right. We try to pass on all the knowledge. I've already sent back several emails to our team. And, hey, we saw this here. You're going to get questions about this. This is coming. And some of the new firearms. Hey, we handled it. Consumers are going to like it.
Yeah, this is a good one. People are going to be coming in asking about it. You need to get up to speed on it.
Yep. So we try to keep our whole team up to speed on all the new stuff and the different deals coming by. And, of course, we take a lot of those deals and we use them for advertising, pass those deals on to the consumer.
It's a very competitive market, both guns and ammo. And people, one of the things I always tell people, I say, look, I understand everybody is shopping on price, but at the same time, if you would like to have a local gun store around when you come back, you need to be buying from your local gun store, because if you don't, it won't be here.
Sure, they need support, and so if somebody says, okay, I'm going to go to a big box and buy there, eventually with no support, a lot of those gun stores may go away.
Right,
and then they're going to lose a lot of that expertise. They're going to lose a lot of that selection, a lot of the
and sometimes, to be fair, particularly in some of these places, when you go to some of the stores, the guy who's working the gun counter was in the paint section last week.
Sure, they don't have the people that's their job day in and day out. And
right.
So we have that. When you come to work for us, if you're in the firearms department, you're working in the firearms department.
What changes have you seen in the last, say, 5 years in the gun buying public?
We've seen them buy a lot more guns than they were. Some of that's been driven by political catalysts that were out there. But there's also, the industry has done a fantastic job trying to bring in new shooters. It's become a family-oriented, recreational thing to do.
More women?
Much more. Yeah, we see a lot more women. A lot.
Yep. And some of them come in because they want to shoot, but some of them come in from the self-defense gateway.
Yes.
And then they discover guns and shooting, and they go, hey, this is kind of fun.
Yes, they like it. They enjoy it. Well, I think everybody has a fear of the unknown. And so when you don't do something, there's a little bit of fear. But once they come in and find out it's not a big deal to shoot a gun.
Right.
It's fun to do. they're hooked. They like to do it.
There you go. What's the? I'm sure you have a website for your stores.
VanceOutdoors.com.
Easy. VanceOutdoors.com in Columbus, Ohio. I would encourage anybody in the area to come by and see you, say hello, say, hey, I heard you on the radio, and bug you. Take some of your time up there.
Yeah, we would appreciate that.
All right, Vance, congratulations. Ruger Outdoor Retailer of the Year, or Gun Retailer?
Retailer of the Year.
Retailer of the Year. Okay, Very good. Well done. Appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you for having me on your show.
All right, we'll be right back in a minute with more Gun Talk.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition and homes around the world, one name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SigTac accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit SigSauer.com today.
Hi, I'm Tom Gresham. For more than 40 years, I've been watching an environmental disaster in my backyard, and it actually impacts all sportsmen in America. I'm talking about the massive loss of land on the Louisiana coastline. The U.S. Geological Survey said the swamps and marshes of coastal Louisiana are among the nation's most fragile and valuable wetlands. That land is disappearing. The Mississippi River Delta hosts as many as 10 million ducks and geese every winter. These are birds which migrate northward through the states, all the way to Canada. The wetlands of the Delta support some of America's best fresh and saltwater fishing. And here's the deal. The wetlands of the Mississippi River Delta are disappearing at a rate of 1 football field every hour. 1 football field every hour. Gone. We can reconnect the river with its wetlands and restore the Delta, but we need your help. Please visit vanishingparadise.org. That's vanishingparadise.org.
Everyone knows that dry fire practice can make you a better shooter. Make it count with the Score Time Laser Trainer Target from LaserLight. Use your own gun with LaserLight Laser or the LaserLight Trigger Time Laser Pistol to get great practice and have fun doing it. It's like an electronic dartboard target for your gun, with scoring, timer, and shot display. To see more, go to laserlight.com. That's laser, LYTE.com.
If you're looking for a safe and trusted way to sell your firearms, look no further than Dury's Gun Shop. I trusted them to sell my dad's collection. They built their business for over 50 years on honesty and customer service. Dury's Guns will buy any size collection or estate, none too big or too small. Selling your firearms to Dury's Guns is easy. Go with the pros. I trust Dury's Guns. DurysGuns.com. All right, we're back with Tom Gresham is here. Hey, Billy, how you doing? You want to come sit? Come sit. Grab a chair. We're going to bring him in early here. We're just grabbing people. Just grab a chair, put on a headset. We'll just kind of make it happen here. Billy Johnson's just joined us here. Billy, of course, has got the Kickstarter program going. Tell him what you're up to.
I've been working on this project since January, but
this project being
Protecting Liberty.
Okay, it's a film.
It is a documentary film,
okay.
And I'm going to be trying to tackle some of the challenges that we have in mainstream media right now, which is if you see the perception that's created by the media today, if you look at the Pew Research polls, most Americans think crime is increasing.
Right, it's totally opposite, but that's because of what they're being fed.
Sure. I mean, if it bleeds, it leads.
Sure.
That's an old media adage, and you've seen that time and time again. And
right.
That is extremely powerful, and most people obviously think crime's increasing. But if you look at the actual data, over the last 20 years, it's been cut in half.
Right. So, all right, so we have these two things that are working opposite. And frankly, I mean, I know people get tired of us laying it at the feet of the media, but it's the media. Because they're either ignorant or they're willful accomplices, and I tend to think it's the latter, but there's a lot of ignorance to go around too. A lot of times they're just lazy. They just take what the anti-gun groups feed them, and they don't pay attention, they don't ask questions, they don't say, is this right? They don't actually go look at the FBI data or anything like that. So what are you going to be doing with your film?
Well, I think one of the first questions you have to ask is, since we have this misperception issue, we have to, ask, how has this happened? Mm-hmm. And another important question to ask is, since crime's been cut in half in this country, the real question journalists should be asking is, how did that happen?
How did that happen? At the same time when gun sales are skyrocketing.
Right.
Which is the other thing. You got crime going down and gun sales going up. Oh, gee, I don't think that more guns equal more crime, perhaps.
No, I mean, you can't correlate those two pieces of data and prove anything, because it's actually the exact opposite.
Right.
So that's the first question. It's really interesting to me. If I think there was one piece of policy you could point to that was responsible for that decrease in crime, you know what we'd be seeing? We'd be seeing a politician saying, that's my, I wrote that piece of legislation.
Right.
I'm responsible for that.
They would take ownership of it, yes.
And we don't see that at all. We haven't seen that. So I think that's an interesting question to ask. And,
right.
and there's a lot to, some people have theories on it, but I think part of the documentary is trying to discover how that's happened. At the same time, because that misperception issue is used for increasing restrictions, push for increasing restrictions on our rights.
Right.
And so we have to correct that. I feel that's a huge problem right now. We have to correct that misperception issue. And I think it's a responsible part as a responsible gun owner and Second Amendment advocate. It's responsible for us to say, okay, there are, some crime issues in the country. What are our politicians, what are these communities doing to try to improve that?
What's the old deal of, okay, let's find out what works and let's find out what's not working and not what we wish were working, because those appear to be completely different things. So what do you do with your documentary? Who do you talk to? How are you going to shine the light on this?
Well, first, we got to address the media. We got to talk to the media. And there's plenty of archival footage of, the media taking part in creating that misperception.
John Lott documented a lot of that in The Bias Against Crime, or Bias Against Guns, his book.
Yep, exactly. The other thing is, you have to talk to some people that feel they have solutions, and there's lots of politicians that think they have solutions. Some of them support the Second Amendment. Some of them are naysayers.
Right.
I think a great thing in a documentary is you have to talk to the naysayers. You can't avoid them. Now, I might have a problem with talking to some of them. They might not want to talk to me.
They might not want to talk to you. That's a whole different issue.
That is. And then, in my promo video, the one thing I come out and say is, I'm a strong advocate for the Second Amendment. I don't believe that if you're trying to solve a problem, restricting or limiting one of our rights is the solution to that problem. And what we see out of Washington is typically when the country might face a crisis, the first solution we always hear about is we need to restrict that right, whether or not it's the First, Second, Fourth Amendment.
Well, because that's how they exercise power.
Exactly.
It's really as much about power as anything else. Now, we should point out, this is not your first foray into documentary work.
No, for the last 10 years, I've had my own production company. I've created a lot of content for, all over the world.
You're an experienced filmmaker.
Yes.
Okay. And at this point, I'm trying to figure out how to explain to people the value of this documentary. It is a tool. The documentary itself becomes a tool. It becomes an instrument of persuasion. And ultimately, and I've explained it for years and years, I said, look, public policy is determined by public opinion. Public opinion on the gun issue needs to move only about 2 or 3 ticks, one way or the other, and you've moved things. It's important. And having your documentary, where you basically shine the light on the lies, as well as saying, okay, this is what actually is, that's powerful.
It is. And I think as a Second Amendment defender, sometimes we get this notion that everybody in the country has their mind made up. And there's a tremendous amount of people that either don't have an opinion about the Second Amendment, or they're just sitting on the fence. And I think it's our responsibility to highlight the facts, to go after these misperception issues, and try to convince those people and bring them over to our side. And that's what this documentary is going to do.
Exactly. Hold on to that thought. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, I want to tell you how you can get involved, how you can help Billy, because this is a powerful tool. And we're going to tell you where you can go see a little bit of what he's doing, and then you can join the team and be a part of this. We'll be right back. All right, we're back with you here at the NRA show in Nashville. Talking with Billy Johnson. We're talking about his project, documentary film, What's your timeline? And basically, I know people would like to help out. That's what we're asking for. We're asking for help now.
Yes, I need people to contribute to this documentary. This isn't a documentary that Hollywood is going to fund. There's no way Hollywood's going to make this, and I feel if I don't make this documentary right now, I'm concerned that it's not going to be made, that no one else is going to make this. And I think the important thing right now is to get this out in the run-up to the 2016 election.
Ah, okay. So when would you ideally want to release this?
Typically, I would like to May of 2016.
Okay, so basically a year from now.
Yes, which means I don't have a lot of time.
You got to get moving.
Yes. So the campaign right now, we have about 20 days left.
It's a Kickstarter campaign.
Yes.
It's an online fundraiser. Explain how that works.
So it's crowdfunding for those people that don't understand that, and what that means is there's a set of rewards for people to contribute to the film. I'm sure most of the people contributing are going to believe in the cause of the film. And everybody chips in, and when we reach the goal, then I get access to that funds to make the film. Okay. Right now we're trying to raise $225,000. After fees and everything, credit cards, it comes out to about $200,000, and that's really the bare minimum I need to make it.
It costs that much. So when people go, how did it cost that much? No, it costs that much. You got to hire crews, you got to rent cameras, you got to have editors, you got to have sound people. You got to have travel cost. It just goes on and on.
And the licensing of the footage. This is a documentary about media perception, so there's going to be a lot of footage that I need to license, and that's a huge cost.
Right.
Now
and I can tell you, since we make TV, and I can tell people, you're not really making any money on this deal.
No, I'm not. I'm not getting paid at all out of the money.
Yeah. I'm sitting there doing the numbers. I'm thinking, there's nothing left over.
No.
After the production on this.
No, I believe in this cause so much. I feel this documentary has to be made. It has to be made now. You were at John Lott's dinner last night, and we're talking about the research that's going to be released over the next couple of years, the anti-gun research. We have to be able to counter that with facts, with logic, and I've put out about 25 Second Amendment videos over the last 2 years, and a lot of those are really complex issues, and there's a lot to talk about there that I want to expand on, and I think a feature-length documentary is the best way to do that. And this is that documentary that if you have a friend that's not a gun owner, this is the documentary you can show them.
That's right. And so where do they go? How do they actually participate? How can people kick in some money to this deal?
So if you go to Kickstarter.com, just go up to the little search bar up at the top of their website and type in Protecting Liberty.
Protecting Liberty.
Yep.
Okay.
And I will pop up, and you can watch the little promo video, a little bit about the documentary, a little bit about me and my past experience with film.
Right.
And then there's a contribute button, and they can pick the level they want to contribute, and it'll take any dollar amount, from $5 to $5,000. So.
Okay. And the other videos you've done, how can people see any of those? Are those online, YouTube, anything?
There are some in the actual promo video.
Oh, okay. So they'll get a taste of that when they see the promo video then.
Yes. Obviously, I've worked for a lot of different clients over the years, and probably not everybody agrees with my stance on
so you don't want to
Second
put all
Amendment.
that out there, yes.
there are clients named in the video, so they're out there. And there's, I've worked for TED.com. I've worked for, a lot of other clients that probably don't appreciate.
They may not be on board with this one, though.
Not necessarily. I'm sure some people are. I mean, no one's told me they're not. No one's told me they're not.
Yeah, that's okay. So what you do is you go to Kickstarter.com.
Yes.
All right, and you search for Protecting Liberty.
Yes.
And then you drop some money in the bucket, basically.
That's right.
Works.
And I need everybody's help because, if I had the money, I would pay for it myself.
How much time we got left on this?
We're at 19 days right now.
19 days. So you got to do it. Don't put it off. Do it right now. Do it while you're doing it. If you're listening to this online, just click over and do it right now. Throw some money in the kitty. I wish you luck with it. I think it's wonderful. I'll support you any way I can. Keep me posted, okay?
Thanks, Tom. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate that. Billy Johnson, it's Protecting Liberty. Go to Kickstarter.com, search for Protecting Liberty. Come on. Put in the cost of a box of ammo. It's not a lot of money, but it goes a long way. And boy, do we ever need it. We need this intellectual ammunition to win.